Hi, good to see you here at session 5 for a practical exercise this week in Christian mysticism. I am here as promised at the St. Thomas Labyrinth, and most of the time, because I'm actually filming myself today, we're not going to be looking at me. We're going to be looking at the labyrinth, and I'm going to show you a couple of different kinds. So let's get started. As you can see here, we are at St. Thomas Episcopal Church on Hilton Avenue, 1200 Hilton Avenue. I am actually facing the church parking lot. You can see the postman coming down right now. And so it's to your left as you come in, right off of Hilton Avenue. And a beautiful pathway takes us into a shaded area, as you can see. All the trees around us. It's quite beautiful. And this labyrinth, which is the classical 11 circuit style, was made with bricks as the pathway and then crushed gravel of some kind. And you turn to the left and walk down to the entrance. You'll know the entrance because it's marked by the information box that you see right in front of us. If you like, you can come over and pick out one of these wonderful leaflets that gives you a lot to look at right in preparation for your walk or even during your walk. These were prepared by my friend Vicki Parton. She has done a lot with this ministry. You also see other materials here. Feel free to go through them and feel free to take one of those labyrinth flyers with you. And so here's the entrance. You just turn around from the box and you can see the pathway all the way around, with the center being right here, and it's the ultimate goal is to go into the circle and then come back out exactly the way you came in. So we're not going to walk the whole labyrinth today, but I want to give you a feeling for it. And before I do that, because we'll also end in the labyrinth, I want to show you a couple of more options that I brought from home. One of them is this finger labyrinth that I have had for quite some time. I bought it at Grace Cathedral in San Francisco. And sometimes when I'm needing to relax and connect with God, but my mind won't really allow me to sit still, I simply enter the labyrinth meditatively with my finger and go through the 4 R's that we described in the video. I make my intention. I release any negative emotions. I go to the center and receive guidance and inspiration from God, where I connect with God. And then I return back into the world with a lot more clarity. Now, I'm not going to do this entire labyrinth for you, but you can see here where if you followed it around and you stay on track, you will ultimately end up in the center. This labyrinth is also an 11 circuit, just like the one that we'll be walking today. And you can see it is an exact replica, whether you know it or not, of the one at Chartres Cathedral. I just love it. And you're welcome to borrow this sometime from me if you would like, or go get your own. You can get these on the Veritas website, I believe. Then I have a smaller one that I can actually travel with or take in my purse, and I got this one, I think, at the Cathedral bookstore, a St. Philip Cathedral bookstore in Atlanta. And as you can see, it too is an exact replica of the labyrinth at Chartres Cathedral. And you start at the exact same place and go at your own pace after making your intention. And I usually go at a pace about like this. Sometimes I will be praying. Sometimes I'm simply trying to quiet my mind so that I can commune with God. It's a very contemplative act. Sometimes I imagine that I'm actually walking the labyrinth at Chartres or somewhere else. There's a replica of this in stone, or actually pavers, at the Cathedral of St. Philip outdoors. And there are also canvas labyrinths. Anyway, it's hard to film this and do it at the same time, but you get the point. This actually comes in this little pouch I have over here, this little red pouch. And so you can take this with you on a trip, or if you have a stressful place to go, like a doctor's appointment where you're expecting some news about your health, or any situation where you just want to have more mindfulness and connect with God deeply. So if we were doing a group labyrinth walk, which I hope we will at some point, I would open this labyrinth with a ritual, walking clockwise around the labyrinth. And I usually ring some bells or chimes to awaken the energy. I know that sounds a little weird, but it is a type of ritual in much the same way that we use the ritual of incense or music in our worship services. And then standing at the entrance, which is where I would have you positioned, and then have someone 6 to 8 feet behind you and tap them when it's time to go in, simply set my intention. And today I want to set an intention for peace in the world between all nations and all people. There's a lot of strife and a lot of pain, as you know, both brought on by the COVID-19 virus and the disagreements and the difficulties that people are feeling right now over race relations and equality. But anyway, I'm just going to put out that intention and ask God, and perhaps you can ask with me, to bring His peace and love and understanding and wisdom, not only to me and you, but to the entire world, so that we can live in harmony and in accordance with His will for us. And then I begin my walk. And you can see I'm just walking at a natural pace. I have to keep my eyes cast down and a little bit in front of me. And I typically don't talk when I'm on the labyrinth, but I'm showing you. So I'm going to be quiet for just a minute or two. We don't want this video to be too long. If you go at a short pace, it can take around, a slower pace, it can take around 20 minutes to go in and out of the labyrinth, depending on how long you spend in the center praying or meditating. But I want you to get a feel for it. And as I said, there's no right or wrong way to walk. Sometimes if you're feeling particularly joyful, you might want to skip, or if you have a grandchild or a child with you, that's not irreverent, that's joy. And you just go at your own pace. I think you get the point. You stay within the brick and you walk your way around until you get to the center. Now, I'm going to go on into the center because I know you don't want to walk this entire labyrinth with me. So here is the way you enter. Let me back up a little bit. You're coming in, and you can see that there are 6 petals that reflect the rose window at Chartres Cathedral. And you might think of different areas of your life, 6 areas of your life or the life of the world that you would want to address by simply stopping and standing within the first petal, making a special prayer, and then I go clockwise. I go to the second, lifting up a particular prayer for healing, for people for whom I pray daily, whatever works for you. You can also just stand right in the middle, and usually I'm facing out away from the entrance. You see, this is what you will see. It's a beautiful meandering path that goes to another area on the St. Thomas campus. And then when you're ready, you simply go out the exact same path you came in. And you can see over here the finger labyrinth, and this is where the information area is. So we came in right here, and we wound our way all the way around to the center, and then we're going to make our way out again. And so hopefully in the center I've received some sense of clarity. Because I was talking, I didn't really feel anything. This isn't a real walk. But if I had been walking with the intention of world peace, peace between races, peace between nations, peace between family members, usually I will have a sense or a feeling that I've left any angst that I had behind me when I leave and I'm coming back home. Now, sometimes you don't feel anything, and that's fine too. Everyone's different. Everyone has a different way of walking. And sometimes the effects of the labyrinth, which are a mystery to me, some say it's the sacred geometry. Some people say we are stilled and brought closer to Christ by the act of moving in a meditative way, just as we do when we sit in meditation. And there is something magical that happens that's almost inexplicable. We're going to walk around the periphery, and then we'll close this exercise for today. I'm going to turn the camera around once more. And thank you so much for joining me today. And if you're interested in walking the labyrinth as a group with appropriate social distance, or even getting together to pray and meditate and practice some of the contemplative exercises that we have been learning over the last few weeks, shoot me an email and I will add you to our list, which is growing. Look forward to seeing you next time. Blessings.